Sidi Ould Tah elected president of African Development Bank Group. Appeals court reinstates Trump-era tariffs for now. IMF warns global public debt could hit 100% of GDP by 2030 amid fiscal sustainability concerns. Plus, oil prices head for weekly decline amid tariff disputes and OPEC Plus uncertainty. Welcome to Business Express, your gateway to the heartbeat of Nigeria's economy, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Naika Oko, your guide. Welcome to the program. Sidi Ould Tah of Mauritania has been elected president of the African Development Bank Group during the bank's annual meetings in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. Elected by the Board of Governors comprising finance and economy ministers or central bank governors from the bank's 81 member countries, Tah met the requirement of securing over 50.01% of both regional and non-regional votes. Tah brings over 35 years of experience in African and international finance, including a transformative 10-year tenure as president of the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa. He also served as Mauritania's Minister of Economic Affairs and Finance. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Mauritanian President on the election of Dr. Sidi Ould Tah as the new president of the African Development Bank Group. The Nigeria Exports Processing Zones Authority and the House Committee on Public Account have pledged to strictly enforce regulations governing free trade zones and their businesses. This commitment aims to maximize remittances to the Federation account. The resolution came during the committee's oversight visit to the Dangote Refinery and Petrochemicals Free Zone Enterprise and the Lagos Free Zone in Lagos. Dr. Olufemi Ogunyemi, NEFZA's managing director, reaffirmed the authority's dedication to transparent regulatory enforcement. He noted that while many zones have been remitting funds, stricter compliance measures are now necessary to ensure prompt and full payments from all enterprises. House Committee Chairman Bamidele Salami praised the free trade zone scheme for attracting significant local and foreign investment, but emphasized the need for regulations to promote transparent business operations. He stressed that these zones should accelerate economic growth and industrialization, with all efforts focused on securing complete remittances to the Federation account. A federal appeals court on Thursday granted the Trump administration's request to temporarily halt a lower court decision that invalidated most of President Trump's tariffs Earlier, the administration had informed the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit of its intention to seek emergency relief from the Supreme Court as early as Friday if the ruling wasn't swiftly paused. In its order, the appeals court stated that the U.S. Court of International Trade's ruling issued Wednesday night is temporarily stayed until further notice while the court considers the motion papers. The decision offers the administration a brief reprieve as it prepares to argue that the lower court ruling should remain on hold throughout the appeals process. Officials from the Trump administration maintain they have alternative legal pathways to impose tariffs if the appeal does not succeed. The Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission has inaugurated its Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit in Abuja. Members of the committee were urged to uphold integrity, patriotism, and ethical standards in their duties. Olainka Ojo reports.
Of the anti-corruption.
Hinged on the core values of integrity, the newly inaugurated members of Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit are expected to play a critical role in reinforcing the Commission's effort to entrench transparency, accountability, and prudence in its operations.
Approach our responsibilities with commitment to the national interest, diligence, due process, and vision for prosperity.
The Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, urges Act 2 members to demonstrate professionalism, courage, and fairness in their duties. These include conducting corrupt risk assessments, fostering ethical compliance, monitoring budget implementation, and carrying out preliminary investigations into complaints.
These units function as internal mechanisms to identify and address systemic weaknesses while ensuring compliance with ethical standards across ministries, departments, and agencies of government.
My main focus will be to, 1, promote a culture of transparency, accountability within the Commission. 2, to identify and eliminate corrupt practices. 3, ensure prudent management of public funds. And 5, foster a collaborative environment that encourages whistleblowing and protects whistleblowers.
The new unit has 11 members. Olainka Ojo.
Thank you, Olainka. Today we turn the spotlight on transparency, accountability, and citizen participation, the pillars of the open government partnership in Nigeria. Since joining the global initiative in 2016, Nigeria has taken bold steps to reform governance through open data, anti-corruption measures, and civic engagement. From launching a beneficial ownership register to improving its open budget index, the country has made notable progress, yet challenges around implementation and sustainability persist, especially at the sub-national levels. So what has the journey been so far? What impact is it having on citizens? And how can we deepen reforms for inclusive governance? Joining us to explore Nigeria's OGP journey so far is the National Coordinator of Open Government Partnership, OGP, Dr. Gloria Ahmed. You're welcome to Business Express, ma'am.
Thank you for having me here. I'm grateful.
Nice. So we begin with recent review of activities. What has been the focus of the open government partnership in Nigeria over the past 2 years, especially under the current administration?
Okay. I will begin by giving the background of how Nigeria joined the open government partnership. In 2016, at the UK Anti-Corruption Summit, then President Muhammadu Buhari was the one who made a declaration that Nigeria was going to join the open government partnership. And at that time, it was to assist the country in fighting corruption, which was prevalent. And immediately after that anti-corruption summit, Nigeria immediately commenced the process of joining the open government partnership. And Since then, we have moved from where we used to be. We have not gotten to where we want to be, but certainly we're not where we used to be. At that time, the civic space was very, very narrow. It was difficult for government and civil society to sit together in one room to discuss. There was this trust deficit between the civil society and government, and there was no participation of citizens in the budgeting process, and so many other processes like that. But since Nigeria signed into the Open Government Partnership, there has been this collaborative effort between the civil society and the government. And it has been a win-win situation because it's often said that nobody knows it all. The civil society come with their own technical know-how, government comes with its own expertise. We rub minds together to co-creatively solve local solutions, local problems, local challenges with local solutions. So since that time, Nigeria has co-created and implemented 3 national action plans. The 3rd national action plan just ended, and we're in the process of developing the 4th national action plan. And in those plans, we've had commitments like fiscal transparency, beneficial ownership register, the Servicom, climate change, and a lot of other things that have been in those commitments, which the country has been working on through the civil society and government's partnership together. So certainly, like I said earlier, we're not where we want to be, but we have moved from where we used to be. So it has improved governance, which is the sole purpose of the Open Government Partnership.
That's great.
It's still work in progress.
Now, Nigeria's OGP has been recognized globally, particularly for its work in beneficial ownership transparency, like you mentioned, especially in the extractive sector. What stands out to you as the most impactful achievement from Nigeria's first 2 action plans, and why does it matter to everyday Nigerians?
Yes, what stands out to me is the beneficial ownership register, like you have said. We know that in the past, businesses, are registered in Nigeria without the government actually knowing who the beneficial owners are. We don't know who those people are. They come into the country, they get contracts done, they make money, and sometimes these funds are used for illicit activities. So it was very, very in line with global best practice to have a public register of beneficial owners of companies, declared. And it's the first of its kind in Africa. And some other countries have come to understudy what we have been doing in Nigeria and have created their own register. And we have a platform together where we collaborate. And this has been a win because with us collaborating with them, it's easy for us to investigate cases of non-compliance with the beneficial ownership rules. And this has also fostered transparency, in the business climate in Nigeria. Now we know who those business owners are. And businesses that have refused to declare who their owners are have been delisted from the corporate affairs register.
So
about
how is
300 of
OGP
them.
ensuring that beneficial ownership data is accessible, user-friendly, and actively used by civil society journalists and indeed the general public?
Okay, thank you for that. The OGP, like I said before, is a collaboration between government and civil society. Every process in the Open Government Partnership is co-created. So if there was a beneficial ownership register, the planning stage, whatever process it had to go through before it got to this stage was co-created with the civil society. They have access to it. The portal is open. Accessibility is free. Any citizen in Nigeria can access the portal. You go there, you interrogate the portal, you ask any question, and you get a response to it. So it is very, very accessible. And to further ensure that the citizens, especially the civil society organizations, have access to this portal, the World Bank supported the Open Government Partnership in 2022 to develop a citizens guideline, which was a guide, on how citizens can interrogate, the budget and also the beneficial ownership register. So the Open Government Partnership, like the name implies, is open, is co-created. Civil society have access to. We co-create the processes and the implementation.
Right.
So there's no secrecy in it.
Talking about the civil society collaboration, we know that the OGP thrives on government-civil society partnerships.
Yeah.
Now, how have these collaborations driven successes like in the Nigeria Open Contracting Portal or increased budget transparency? And what makes this co-creation process so unique in Nigeria's context?
Thank you. The co-creation process is very, very unique in Nigeria. And is a beautiful process, beautiful process. We all know that if you need to wash your hands and you try to do it with one hand, you can't get it very clean. You need both hands, to get it clean. And if you want to run, you can't run far with your one leg tied to your back. You need both legs. That's the beauty of the co-creation. That's the uniqueness of the co-creation. And that is the value it has added to governance in Nigeria. Exploring all avenue, like I said before, identifying local challenges, coming up with local solutions to them, co-creatively coming up with local solutions and implementing together. So that's what it has been. Co-creation has been a success in Nigeria. It's been a win-win. Gone are the days when government comes into the room and civil society walks out. Or we work together on the table. At the National Steering Committee level, you have 10 government representatives, you have 10 civil society and the private sector representative on the National Steering Committee. So there's no decision that will be taken without the civil society. We have 50-50 partnership with the civil society.
Let's now talk about citizen participation in budgeting. How effective has Nigeria's OGP commitment been in enabling citizens to influence the budget processes and outcome?
Wow, it has changed. It has changed from what it used to be in the past. In the past, budget was solely a government prerogative. They decide what would be in the budget. They seem to know what, the citizens want. They decide for them what they want. But with the coming of the Open Government Partnership, things have changed a lot. Citizens engage the budget process, even from the MTF level. Citizens, even at the ward levels, local government levels, you see civil society under the platform of OGP going to engage citizens at the rural communities to know what they want to see in the budget. We have a typical example of the AMAC here. AMAC is a global member of the Open Government Partnership. They go down to the wards, the local government area to engage citizens to ask, what do you want government to do for you? They come up with what they want, and it is put inside the budget. And this budget is published. It's on websites. It's everywhere. It's accessible to the citizens. You can interrogate it. Knowing the budget of an MDA, for example, how much a contract is supposed to be. And then you can, vis-a-vis the open contracting portal, you can relate what is in the budget with what is on the open contracting portal, and you can help government to track implementation of programs and projects. We have different softwares, applications for tracking that citizens help government to track. In the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, we have the IMAC. Enough of the mouth talk. Citizens, help us to IMAC it wherever you are. Help government to track its programs and projects. You track it, and then you take pictures. If you think maybe it's not going at the pace it's supposed to go, or it doesn't look like the work is commensurate with how much was budgeted for the program, you can help government to take a picture of it. You upload it on the portal, and it comes with this geographical coordinates that actually shows where you took that picture from. So you can't go to your backyard and take a picture and begin to accuse government. Oh, government, you said you were going to do this in my village and you haven't done it. So whatever picture you upload, it shows the stage which the project has gone. And you'll be able to relate it with what was released or approved in the budget. So there's openness everywhere. It's interconnected. From the budgeting process, citizens are now involved. Open contracting, and there at the open contracting, there's a synergy between them and the beneficial owners. If you come for a contract, you don't disclose who the owners of this company are, you'll be disqualified. And if you give false information, the investigation will be carried out and you'll be prosecuted. So there's a connection between all these applications.
All right,
you know.
Dr. Gloria, before I let you go, as
Yeah.
Nigeria transitions to its fourth action plan, what opportunities do you see for building on NAP 3's successes? And how can the roadmap address past challenges to deliver even greater impact?
Thank you very much. You know, with every NAP, we seek to improve on our previous engagements. NAP 1, NAP 2, NAP 3, there were commitments we had in these NAPs that, you know, have been carried over. That's because probably the goals we had or the targets we had not been met. We see fiscal transparency being carried from NAP 1 to NAP 2 to NAP 3. Yes, a lot of government processes are open, are automated, which is one of the principles of OGP, promoting the use of technology rather than manual interaction with in government processes. So we can see that in NAP 1, 2, and 3, like I said, there are certain commitments that we have been carrying over. That's because we think there's need for more engagement in those commitments. This time around, our OGP is a citizens, is a collaborative platform. So whenever we're going to develop a NAP, we call on the citizens to tell us what they want to see in the NAP. So there's a newspaper publication calling for Nigerians to make their inputs. It's on social media, and we've been doing some sensitization and all of that. When Nigerians send in their input, we're going to come together and look at it co-creatively again with the civil society and government, you know, harmonize these commitments into thematic areas. And I'm not to decide for Nigerians what they want to see in the plan, but from the responses we have received so far, it's obvious we're going to carry over fiscal transparency. People also are indicating interest in the area of climate change, which is where the world is going now. Also the area of digital governance and some other ones. So I will not want to preempt Nigerians. So we, at the end of their submissions, we're going to collate all of this, group them into thematic areas, very ambitious, you know, commitments that we strive to achieve, and co-creatively again with civil society and the private sector will come together to support government.
All right.
OGP
Dr.
is not
Gloria,
reinventing the wheel.
That is too much we can take from you.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing how Nigeria continues to advance transparency and
promoting good governance through OGP platform.
Is that right?
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
All right, moving on. Gold prices declined on Friday as the dollar edged higher, with investors closely watching an upcoming U.S. inflation report that could offer clues about the Federal Reserve's future policy direction. Join me as we explore the pulse of the commodities markets. And also global stocks market, Asia Pacific stocks mostly fell on Friday with a slowing U.S. economy, inflation fears and uncertainties from the judicial developments as around the U.S. President Donald Trump's reciprocal tariffs weighing on investor sentiments. Let's see the global stocks markets. Well, that's all for now on Business Express. See you next week with more analysis and news. I am Nneka Oko. Thanks for your company.